Patra Pakandar Indra Mitaihi translation Shri Bhagavad Gita. Lord Brahma continued, stop the performance of these sacrifices, for they have induced Indra to introduce so many irreligious aspects. You should know very well that even amongst the demigods, there are many unwanted desires. I will not read this purport because I'll cover it in the class. Prabhu, Hare Krishna, I started the class because I tried reaching you, I couldn't. Hare Krishna? Okay. Om Mukyanti Mirandas Jnanandan Salakaya Chakshutmiltamini Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Moham Karoti Vachara, Pampam Devi, Pambade, Shri Gurum Dinatardam, Paramanda Madhavam, Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So we see here actually that when Prithu Maharaj was conducting the sacrifices, Indra first he stole the horse. Prithu Maharaj sent his son and got the horse, sacrificial horses back again. And second time, Indra has stolen the horse from the sacrificial arena. So it is said that Prithu Maharaj is a very great, not only is an empowered incarnation of the Lord, but whatever grains and other things that we are getting today, it is all by the costless mercy of Prithu Maharaj, because during his reign, there was a shortage of grains and he started chasing Mother Earth, and Mother Earth told him that the grains are being stored by non-devotees. Then Prithu Maharaj milked the Mother Earth in the form of a cow, and then he drew a lot of grains for these to meet the requirements of the citizens. So when Indra stole the horse for the second time from the sacrificial arena, Prithu Maharaj was very, very angry, and he was chasing him. One reason why Indra stole the horse is that he was envious of Prithu Maharaj. Indra got his position as the king of heaven for having performed 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Prithu Maharaj had already done 99 yajnas, and this was the 100th yajna. So Indra thought that if permit Prithu Maharaj to perform this yajna, then he will take my position. So that is why Indra is always very careful of anyone who performs a lot of austerities. After all, Indra is a demigod, and it is said that there are two types of devotees. One type of devotee is that Sakam, who perform devotional service with some expectation of results. And the other type is Nishkam, who do devotional service without any material desires. So demigods have got that position. All the demigods in the material world have got that position because they had some expectations out of performing devotional service. So the Lord has given them these positions. But these positions are not permanent, they are temporary. And as soon as the results of their pious activities are over, they have to come back and resume their services in the material world. So demigods also have a lot of competition in them. And material world itself is created in such a way that one has to compete with each other and exhibit his competitive spirit to sustain his position of superiority. Otherwise, they can lose. So this is a problem with not only human beings, but also with the demigods also, and Indra is also one of them. So he wanted to see that somehow Prithu Maharaj does not perform this 100th sacrifice. So he stole the sacrificial horse. It is said that even during Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, this competition was existing, and many people, somebody would celebrate marriage in X way, somebody else would celebrate it in much more grander way. A third person would conduct marriage ceremony in a much still grander way. And this went on, and finally people would see that uh, that once they were spending their resources in marriage without actually the marriage being the focus of the ceremony. So generally, this tendency is there to exhibit one's capacity to. Uh, I don't know why these people. Okay. So generally, it is said that people are conducting ceremonies basically to exhibit their capacity or to show their capacity of power or financial and so forth. So during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time also this went on, and finally when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw this, he said, please stop these types of marriages. Instead, chant Hare Krishna and conduct the marriage. This is how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also intervened at that time. So we see in this sloka that uh, Brahma is actually persuading both Prithu Maharaj and Indra not to fight. And he's trying to subside Prithu Maharaj's anger. Now, Brahma is the first created being. He's also a demigod in charge of the creation. He's the spiritual master of all. And in our Sampradaya, he runs the Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. As we all know, there are four Sampradayas, and of which ours is known as Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya, and he's the spiritual master for that. So here, Brahma is telling Prithu Maharaj as well as Indra, let there be good fortune for both of you. And is expressing his compassion for both of them. Now, one is a king, king of heaven, who is, and the other is Prithu Maharaj, who is an empowered incarnation of the Lord, and who has come here to perform a certain pastime. So, Brahma being a supreme authority, they had a lot of respect for him. And at the same time, uh, Brahma also approached, Brahma was an authority, but he could have approached in aggressive means, saying that this is what I'm telling you, please do it. But he also approached both of them in a very conciliatory mood, and both the parties also had a lot of respect for Brahma. So one important point that comes into this subject matter is that one needs a guru in all matters, whether material or spiritual. And it becomes all the more important in spiritual matters because in spiritual life, one can't advance without the uh, uh, mercy of a guru. So, guru also has to have some prerequisites, qualities to be respected as a guru. Now, in the next verse, Brahma is telling, my dear king, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifices have not been properly executed due to providential impediments. Kindly take my words with great respect. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. So, in the purport also, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that there can be reversals in any activity. Even in devotional service, there can be a lot of reversals that one can face, but one should not try to counteract such a reversal because these also happen by by the arrangement of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that the more we try to counteract these reversals, the more we enter into a darkest region. So Brahma is explained to Patamara that whatever has happened, that has also happened by the will of the Lord. And rather, he should, Brahma is preaching to Prithu Maharaj. And a guru also, it is said, has to give explanations when he gives some statements. So Brahma gave this verdict to Prithu Maharaj based on the knowledge he had, because he is the first learned person in this material world. Srila Prabhupada also gives a quote on from Bhagavad Gita, 214, Matra sparsha sukanteya itoshna sukha dukkada agama paino nityas tamstitikshasva bharata. Is that, O son of Kunti, the permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like that of appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, or sign of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So the point is that summer season comes, winter season comes, rain comes. They come on their own and they go on their own. So similarly, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that happiness and distress come on their own and they go on their own. So one must tolerate how to learn how to tolerate them without being disturbed. So when there is a cold winter, still one has to take part. Similarly, the housewife cannot say that I cannot cook in the kitchen because it is very hot in summer. One has to perform their duty in spite of whatever climatic inconveniences are there. So the point is that one has to continue their duties irrespective of whatever impediments come in the process of executing their duty. And in the process of counteracting these reversals, if one tries to counteract, one might get into further complications. Srila Prabhupada always gives a story in this respect of a great Brahmana Brahmanas are supposed to live with minimal requirements. So this Brahmana was wearing a kaupin and he would wash and put it them to dry. And there was a mice that would come and chew the kaupin. So when he saw this, then he thought that to stop this, he has to get a cat. So he brought a cat and the rat stopped coming. But the cat started mewing, indicating that it wants milk. So then the Brahmana thought that now I have to get a cow so that I can feed this cat. So he brought a cow. The cow was giving milk, but then he doesn't know about milking, but then the cow also needs grass to eat. Then he thought that I need to get a woman with whom I can marry, and then she can take care of the responsibility of milking the cow, and I can continue with my meditation. So he brought a woman, he got married, and finally, when they got married, she said, I need a place to stay. He will buy me a place. And then for that, he had to leave this job and get into another job so that he can get some money and buy a house. So when he started working outside, then he realized what a great blunder I have done. After all, that coffin was being chewed by a mice. And instead of stopping that, I'm trying to stop that. And I've got into much more complications of getting married and trying to maintain a wife. So the conclusion is that reversals come in for everyone, and it is said that one must try to tolerate it. And it's a very important element, particularly in the devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada also emphasized on his disciples that they should not try to counteract reversals. Some examples are there in the Shastras also. How Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by a Brahmana boy. And Parikshit, being a great devotee of the Lord, could have approached even the Supreme Lord to get it reversed. But then he took this opportunity that his curse was the benediction from the Lord himself, and he went to the bank of Ganges to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. Similarly, there is a king Chitraketu that is also mentioned in the sixth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where King Chitraketu was passing by. He saw Parvati Devi sitting in an embracing position with Lord Shiva, and he laughed at it. It was not intentional, but then Parvati, who saw this, she got very angry and she cursed Chitraketu to become a demon in his next birth. Chitraketu was also a great devotee of the Lord, but he did not protest. He took it rather as a blessing from her, and the next birth he became a demon. But though he became a demon, he was a great devotee of the Lord, and he won a battle. He had a battle with King Indra again, and he died a glorious death. Whereas King Indra, though he won the battle, he lost the battle because he fought a demon who was a great devotee of the Lord. Then will not dwell into the past time, but it is said that though Vritrasura was a demon, he won the battle in the right perspective, seeing the Lord at the time of his death. That is very important. Similarly, we see in the case of Sri Haridas Thakur also. Haridas Thakur was chanting almost 23 hours a day, and the rest of the time he would utilize for his other work, like taking a bath or honoring prasadam. That was the glory of his chanting. So he would always keep chanting, and one day the Kasi told Haridas that if the king knows about this, he will not be very happy. And he went and told the king also about this, and then the king called for Haridas. So Haridas went there. He said, "You are a Muslim person, but you're chanting the Hindu name. Hindu name. Please try to consider it." But Haridas was not at all afraid, and in the discussion he said, "Whatever it is, even if my body," the king Kasi actually asked Haridas to stop chanting the holy name. He said, "My body, even if my body is cut into pieces, I will not stop chanting the holy name of the Lord." Then Haridas Thakura was taken to was ordered to be taken to marketplaces, 22 marketplaces, and normally it is said that if one is beaten in even two or three marketplaces, the person would die. But Haridas Thakura was beaten in 22 marketplaces and still he did not die. He was all the time chanting the holy name of the Lord. Those who were beating Haridas Thakura, they were afraid that if Haridas Thakura did not die, then the king would take them to task. So when they told this to Haridas Thakura, Haridas Thakura went into deep meditation. And instead of getting angry on those, on the Kasi or uh, on the people, those who were beating Haridas Thakura, Haridas Thakur actually was praying for them. Similarly, when Haridas Thakur was arrested before this event also, Haridas Thakur was praying for those who were in the cell that they should be delivered from the cycle of birth and death. So this was the glory of Haridas Thakur, that though there were people who were trying to beat him or chastise him, he was praying from his own side for the blessings of the Lord for those who tortured him also. Then in the next verse, there is a mention as to how Lord Brahma says to uh, Prithu Maharaj, "You better stop the performance of these sacrifices because they have induced Indra to create so many false irreligious practices. You should know that even amongst the demigod, there are many unwanted desires." So there is a competition here between Prithu Maharaj and King Indra, and that led when Prithu Maharaj, when King Indra started stealing the sacrificial horse. Prithu Maharaj, first time his son chased him, and Indra took to many false sannyasi dresses, and so his son did not kill Indra, seeing that a saintly person should not be killed. So the second time when Indra stole the horse, at that time Brahma realized what was happening, and then he came here to persuade both Prithu Maharaj to give up this fight. And he's trying to persuade Prithu Maharaj, saying that this is coincidental. It has happened by the will of the Lord. So you should not try to kill Indra. And we see that in the last class we discussed about how uh, Jainism came out. Indra started many religious or false religious systems which were not in conjunction with the Vedic scriptures. And one of them, it is said that the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam mentions about how King Rishabhadeva, when he was there, he practiced a lot of religious principles. He practiced religious principles, and so he was a perfect incarnation of the Lord. And thereafter, there was one king, Arhat, who tried to imitate this thing, and he started this Jainism. So Brahma is trying to tell Prithu Maharaj that if you continue to perform these sacrifices, what will happen to Indra? He will go more and more spreading the false religious systems by which common man will be misled. And we see that today also there are so many duplicity religious principles which have come not in line with the religious injunctions that are given. Religious scriptures are given by the Lord Himself, and one cannot misinterpret them. And it is said that was the origin from where the false religious practices started. So Brahma is trying to convince, he's not trying to give instructions, rather he's trying to convince Prithu Maharaj that the more you try to conduct this sacrifice, what will happen is the more Indra will spread false religious practices. So he's trying to convince Prithu Maharaj. So the point is that there are many uh, things that are given in the Vedas, and Vedas are basically a lot of thousands and thousands of verses comprising of three sections: Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. Karma Kanda section are those where which mentions that if you perform this, you will get this benefit. If you do this, you will get this benefit. If you do this, you will get this benefit. And Jnanakanda has got a lot of knowledge, but then if one practices that, one becomes more speculative in his character. Upasana Kanda has got little bit of devotion service, but not much. So Brahma was trying to pursue that. After all, Indra is a Karmakandiya person who is after his position and power. Your understanding of the subject matter is totally different, whereas Indra's position is totally different. Indra's destination is heaven. He wants to retain the position of heaven. But for you, you are an empowered incarnation. You are full of knowledge, and your destination is spiritual planet. So you have nothing to do with Indra. Let Indra keep on doing whatever he wants, but you plan to go with your goal, that is, go back to the spiritual world once you leave this planet. This is how Brahma was trying to convince Pitu Maharaj. He also said that in terms of this material or spiritual intelligence, he told Prithu Maharaj that you are much more intelligent than Indra. And another fact he pointed out was that generally demigods have a lot of pride in them. And we see that so many examples are there in Srimad Bhagavatam itself. When Krishna performed this Govardhan puja pastime, Krishna, actually they were, for before that Leela, Nanda Maharaj and all the residents of Prajabhumi, they were uh, offering the sacrifices to Indra. But then when Krishna intervened, or Krishna intervened and asked them to stop it and instead give it to Govardhan, Indra got very, very angry again because he thought that what I'm getting, supposed to get, it is being diverted to somebody else. Indra did not know that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he sent all the thunderclouds and heavy rainstorms and so forth, and uh, he completely uh, uh, brought Vrindavan to a standstill. That is when Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill with his little finger and held it for 7 days and 7 nights. And when Indra realized that, yes, this could be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he came with a calf, with a cow and with a cow, because he asked Brahma, and Brahma told him the best thing is to ask forgiveness from Krishna. And if you go there with a cow, because cows are very dear to Krishna, Krishna will forgive you. So Indra came again with a cow. And this whole pastime of Pitu Maharaj is also related to cow, because when before Pitu Maharaj came, there was a shortage of grains. I'm not going to that part of it. But the point is that demigods are always very much proud. And if they see something coming into their path as an impediment, they won't mind going to any extent. So Brahma is trying to convince that Indra has got a lot of a pride, and the more you will do yajna, the more people will become cheated. He says that then, of course, it is said that real intelligence is that a sadhu does not fight with anyone, whether it is a devotee or non-devotee. So finally, it is said that when Indra, when Patu Maharaj stopped this sacrifice, uh, in fact, the Supreme Lord himself uh, was pleased with by Patu Maharaj stopping the sacrifice, and then he appears in that sacrificial arena and gives some very, very valuable instructions and tells Patu Maharaj as to how he was pleased by Patu Maharaj stopping the sacrifice. We'll not discuss into that. And then he asks Prithu Maharaj to take a benediction. So that is how the Lord was very pleased when, of course, the Lord appeared, and Prithu Maharaj himself is an incarnation of the Lord. The point we must understand from this is that reversals come into everyone's life. And when there is an authority who gives instructions, and if it's a qualified authority, one must abide by it. And here, in this particular case, we see one might look at it from a contradictory way, thinking that how can Indra steal a horse from a great devotee of the Lord who is performing a sacrifice? But then there were many factors that were considered that by stopping the yajna, the Lord himself was pleased and he appeared. But on the other hand, if King Prithu had taken gone through this 100th sacrifice, he might have had to take the position of Indra, which was not his destiny. And the goal for both of them is totally different. So it is said that one must try to, uh, instead of counteracting reverses, one must try to tolerate this. Some examples are there. It is said, there's a quote in the Srimad Bhagavatam, ninth canto. It is said that Vishwamitra Muni and Vashishta, uh, they fought life after life. Vishwamitra was basically a Kshatriya and Vashishta was a Brahmana. So Vishwamitra, wanted to become a Brahmana because he came to know that Brahmanas have a lot of Brahminical powers. So he performed a lot of austerities to become a Brahmana. So he became a Brahmana, and later Vashishta also accepted him because of his Vishwamitra's qualities of forgiveness. So once it is said that King Harishchandra performed a yajna for which Vishwamitra was the official priest. But Vishwamitra actually got some anger at Harishchandra and he took away all his possessions, claiming that they are all a contribution as Dakshina. So Vashishta did not like this. And so therefore there was a fight between Vashishta and Vishwamitra. And the fight became so intensive that both of them continued to fight and then they cursed each other. So one of them said that may you become a bird, and the other said may you become a duck. So it is said that both of them became bird and duck in their next life, and they continued to fight for many years because of this uh, uh, Harishchandra organizing a sacrifice and not giving Vishwamitra the position. So the point is that this is an analogy from which one can understand that whatever is there, one has to accept it as a destiny, uh, as a providential arrangement of the Lord, and instead of trying to counteract. In this case, both of them trying to counteract, and one became a bird and one became a duck. So one should, instead of trying to counteract, one should try to tolerate the reversals. It is said that even during Srila Prabhupada's time, he went through a lot of impediments in his vision also. First, he tried to preach in India, then didn't see any response. And then he went to the US. In the initial days, the response was very, very poor. But when he started preaching, when he did the Sankirtan, started Sankirtan, the first set of devotees, it is said, they got carried away by Srila Prabhupada's preaching. So they wanted to arrange a grand uh, uh, occasion in the USA. So to which Prabhupada agreed. So they spent a lot of money. They made arrangements for a big hall and they printed a lot of flyers and like what we do, and they got them circulated. And at the time of event, uh, only 5 of them turned up. So Srila Prabhupada, as usual, addressed them. And after the addressal was over, the devotees, the first set of devotees who took responsibility for this, they became very, very apologetic, and they begged forgiveness from Srila Prabhupada, saying that we made a lot of efforts, but somehow the audience did not turn up, which we see today also. If we call 1,000 people, hardly 10 people might come up, and 10 people need not take the Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada did not take it very seriously. On the other hand, Srila Prabhupada said, no, there were others whom you did not see. So they were asking, what was it? Srila Prabhupada said, I saw Narad Muni in the Kirtan, I saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Kirtan, and I saw Sri Nityananda Prabhu also in the Kirtan. But the devotees, we could not see them because Srila Prabhupada was a pure devotee of the Lord. He could see them. So when they heard this, then they were satisfied. So the Pope, Srila Prabhupada also did not take these reverses in a very serious way. But then one that should not be an excuse for one not putting an endeavor also. We have to put our endeavor, but then leave the result for to the Lord to happen. Another example that is given in Mahabharata itself, that when Draupadi was being stripped in front of everyone in the Sabha, in the palace, she tolerated, and then she asked for the help of their husbands. Finally, she surrendered to the Lord, realizing that only Lord Krishna can save her. And when she pleaded to the Lord and she gave up her own efforts also, Lord Krishna then came to her rescue and rescued her. Lord Krishna came in the form of sari and covered her body. And thereafter, the battle took place and the Mahabharata war took place. And at some point of time, she said that she wants Ashwatthama to be killed because Ashwatthama killed the children of the Pandavas when they were asleep in the night. So when this incident happened, she asked Arjuna to bring Ashwatthama so that Ashwatthama could be killed. But then Arjuna arrested Ashwatthama and brought him alive in front of Draupadi. But at that time, Draupadi changed her mind because she realized that he was the son of a Brahmana and he was also the son of their uh, teachers. The Pandavas learned the arts of martial arts from Dronacharya, whose son was Ashwatthama. So she thought on this angle, being more compassionate, also compassionate, she wanted Ashwatthama to be excused by Arjuna, even though earlier she wanted him to be killed. So this was a change in her mentality to exhibit how a devotee does not retaliate with the other person. Of course, it is very difficult for us to practice on a day-to-day basis. It's a long process. But the point is that we must try to develop this mode in such a way that we don't counteract reversals in life and we don't seek vengeance also. So with this, I conclude the class for the day because I have another this thing to go on. If any questions or any comments, if anybody has got, they can ask me.
Thank you, Prabhu. I think the explanation and the reasoning why Indra stole the horse was, I think, very nicely given by you. Appreciate that. No questions, Prabhu, from my side at least. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Otherwise, I'll take the class as closed. Thank you all very much. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada